Big Y. This is your segment, man. This is where you go over who we had.
Oh, it is my segment, I feel like, today more than ever.
You kicked our butts.
I'm normally not the baseball expert on this show, but I feel like it today.
I will never pick the Yankees again.
I had faith in the Red Sox. I had faith in that Justin Turner. I had faith in the Leprechauns.
Well, I love the Leprechaun.
I had faith in that. Is he Puerto Rican? What's Verdugo?
Verdugo, I think he's Dominican.
He's the Dominican Leprechaun.
He's Mexican.
He's
Thank you, John
the
Ashmead.
Mexican Leprechaun. And then I've got the old-fashioned Leprechaun.
Arroyo, Dominican. I think he's Dominican. Now you got to look. I got to look up their
Well, they're both
ethnicity.
leprechauns, along with the biggest leprechaun in Major League Baseball, Justin Turner.
Big Red. I love the dude's beard.
I think that was one of the best pickups for the Red Sox, and as long as that lineup can stay intact, they're going to score some runs. If the bottom part of that lineup, Cassis and Duran and all those other chumps, if they can bring it back to 250, maybe close to 270, that's going to be a tough out all the way across the board. But you boys like the Yankees more so because you didn't believe in the Red Sox. Not necessarily you didn't believe in the Yankees. You just didn't believe in the Red Sox. But now I'd have to think you don't believe in the Yankees.
It's not that I don't believe in the Yankees.
You can't trust them.
You can't trust them. You can't depend on Aaron Judge solely. Where's the next man up mentality? I think it's pretty pathetic myself. Stanton has just become a total bust. Donaldson, some of these guys, they're a total drain financially on you and in the lineup. So, unless you can make – I don't know how you shake it up. I really don't. I mean, Volpe's supposed to be your future. You got a couple of other dudes down there. You know the pipeline. Who are some of their other big-name guys that are supposed to be coming up? It's time to start calling them up. The Reds did it, and look at what it did for the Reds.
Jason Dominguez.
I'm tired of hearing that the guy's a prospect.
He was a prospect 5 years ago at the age of 16.
That's right. So here's what we used to say. You're either a prospect or you're a suspect. And so some of these guys are suspect at this point. Okay, how much more damage can you do in Double-A?
Right.
How much more? Start doing it in the major league. Now, for Jarren Duran. For that cat, he went back to the minor leagues, did his time last year, got a new attitude, came back, but he's still been inconsistent, but better. He's just got to have more consistency, but you got to keep giving that guy his ABs. Casas, I don't know if you even deserve to have him anymore. I mean, Coors even come out and said you're not going to play first base every day. So you've got different guys that are going over there. Turner's even filling in sometimes. But I think the bottom line is, listen, Bobby Dahlbeck, Casas, these guys, even though they're 6'5", beautiful men, not great hitters, not consistent enough for you to be, the first baseman of the Boston Red Sox. And listen, I hammer the Yankees. I'm going to hammer the Red Sox. And the Red Sox have had their guys come through here, but you decided you're gonna let Mookie Betts go. Benintendi's gone, Bogarts is gone. You're gonna let all of these guys go, and JD Martinez is still a solid hitter. I'd much rather have him in there than Casas because at least my guys can watch him and how he prepares for a game. So all things considered, this is a management issue as much as a player development issue with both franchises.
I did think it was a fork-in-the-road weekend, and I do think the Red Sox are on the right path, and the Yankees are not on the right path just based on the sweep in the 3 games.
I think it's like, when you were riding your bike and you hit like a sign and it knocked you on your ass. That's the way this weekend went for the Yankees.
There's no fork in the road.
There's no fork in the
went
road.
Right to the sign.
This is, yield sign that you knocked off trying to ride down the street and show off for your friends, and it knocked you right on your butt.
U.S. Open, we were horrible, fellas. Just absolutely horrible. Congratulations to our friend Andrew Armstrong. Andrew Armstrong was the listener who picked the right pro. Did he pick Wyndham Clark? No, he did not. But he picked Rory McIlroy and finished highest amongst all of our listeners.
Pretty good pick.
Yeah, great job, Andrew. We'll be reaching out to him, hooking him up with some Traveler'S tickets on the weekend, thanks to our friends at Tito's Handmade Vodka. Ricky Fowler was selected by our friend Amanda Joe from Country 92.5 as she was sitting with us at Chicago Sam's doing the show live on Friday. She didn't know about him choking as much as he has in the past, or really not even being in contention as much as he has in the past. You guys both had some good feelings about him, though. You both did. Kurt, I know you over the weekend were thinking, man, this guy could really pull through. No. So that didn't work out. You had Xander Schauffele. He looked really good
He was
Thursday,
in contention.
Friday.
Thursday, Friday, he was in contention, and then moving day, I don't know.
Well, you have
Ran out of gas.
There were some holes that were right behind sand traps, and Xander, I saw a
Seemed
couple
to
of
find
times.
every one of the sand traps.
Not only that, but if he didn't, then he would be past the hole, and that ball never stopped rolling. And that's an up and down or an up and two putt.
There
Three
was
strokes.
some awkward situations near sand traps too that got everybody. Like your ball would sink, and it would you couldn't even see it. So imagine trying to hit a wedge out of a lot of those situations.
And still, like, there's some of those guys, like John Rahm found himself in a couple of those spots, put it inches from the cup on Sunday. He was just impressive to watch on Sunday despite not winning. Kurt took Tony Finau. I'm sorry, Kurt. He did not end up winning the U.S. Open. Tony Finau, though, I thought he had a decent run. I didn't see him much yesterday because he was so low on the board. Along with my pick, Max Homa, both of our guys kind of wanted to get to the Travelers, I think.
Why did you do that? Why?
And we all talked crap about Wyndham Clark. So that should have told you, boys and girls, if you listen to who you got on Friday, you should have been running over to the sports book and betting on Wyndham Clark because we all went opposite of the actual winner. Omaha Survivor. I'd like to say all of the boys got theirs right. Now, one is kind of still in the balance. We're waiting on Wake Forest versus LSU. Kurt and I both picked the Demon Deacons. If Wake wins, we are right there with Dibs with his Florida Gators, who the
Gators look strong.
They look strong. It was a dicey game for that Orel Roberts. And I'm rooting for them, man. They got TCU coming up in an elimination game. If they win that, they can take on the Gators again. They'll have to beat them twice, but that's kind of the underdog of Omaha right now, college baseball. We did have a loser in Amanda Joe. Honestly, the theme was go opposite of Amanda Joe. She picked Tennessee, who lost to LSU and is about to be eliminated by Stanford here as we speak. But, yeah, she did take a blemish on her Omaha pick. Hopkins Landing. DeAndre Hopkins did not make a decision. I kind of wanted to go there on Friday. I didn't think he would make a decision on the weekend. But all reports do say he had a favorable time with the New England Patriots and said right after he left the facility he's not going to make his decision just yet. That was your guys' pick. Kurt thought he'd be a Tennessee Titan. I thought he'd be a Chicago Bear. Verdict still out, but the winning pick on the weekend was Hopkins is going nowhere. It's still wait-and-see mode. Whoever gets him is going to get a good one, man.
Absolutely.
Whoever gets him is going to get a good one. Stanley Cup damage. Everyone thought there'd be a ding. I thought it'd be thrown in the fountains of the Bellagio. I think you said 6 dings.
6 dents.
6 dents. Kurt said a couple of dings as well. No damage. No damage to the cup. Now, I watched a little bit of the parade. It was kind of fascinating how they shut down the sidewalks. Well, not really the sidewalks, the street of Las Vegas Boulevard for the Las Vegas Knights to parade the Stanley Cup down the big street. They basically put up crowd fencing?
Yeah.
Crowd fencing
Crowd
on
control.
the signs. And then they shut down that street off. Honestly, it looked fairly easy to pull off. I thought they did an amazing job as a city, but I think the Vegas Knights, dude, I'm sorry. Hockey guys, can't pick them out of a lineup.
No.
They're the most inconspicuous pro athlete on the planet. I could probably pick you out 150 out of the 200 golfers here this weekend out of a lineup. Matt Stone, I don't know what he looks like. The guy with the beard?
Yeah. How about this, though?
They had fun.
The cup in a casino, guy pulls the thing. Now, this could be staged, and a bunch of coins come out into it.
It has
into
to
the
be
Stanley Cup.
staged. Oh, it definitely is staged. I'll tell you why. They don't do coins anymore.
No, they don't. They just give you credits, and you go up, and then they pay in cash.
That's
But I'm
cool,
just
though.
saying,
I like that.
Yeah. Or I went all in on the poker, because you got the World Series of Poker out
Right.
there, and you throw all the chips in there. That's a picture of the cup you should take.
But isn't it weird? All right, Colorado Avalanche, dings all over the cup. Tampa Bay, there's a complete dent in the side of the cup. They had to bang that out and actually make it more of a cup. Vegas, no, nothing, no damage.
Yet.
Yeah,
The
you're
players
right,
now
you're right.
get the cup for 48 hours each, maybe more, depending on where it goes. Some of them travel over to
Right.
other countries in Europe and stuff like that. But That's my favorite thing is when you take the cup somewhere special.
I think it's just funny how everybody treats it like a person.
It is.
Go
Really,
golfing,
it's
it
the
sits next
ghost
to
of
you.
Lord Stanley.
Like take it out to lunch, you put your arm around it, you talk to it, you kiss it.
Couldn't do
course.
crap with mine. It was a bunch of flags. It's a flag with a
hunk of
crown
metal.
in the middle of it. Who
Hunk of
designed
metal.
that? Yeah, Rob Manford, thank
Hunk
you. A
of
hunk of
metal.
metal. It's a cool hunk of metal, though. Not easy to get your hands on.
I do like seeing the players though when like they hold the cup with two hands over their heads and they
It's
yell.
not
at the
light,
crowd.
by the way. It's not
Oh, you
easy to
gotta be a
skate with
man.
that. You got to be a man. It ain't easy to skate around the ice. I would not try it, even when I was a good skater. So those guys are impressive after winning it, and then it's like, okay, now skate around with it.
Another thing I was kind of taken back by when I watched some of the footage of the Vegas parade, and I was telling you guys this, like I could argue that on Tuesday when they won the Stanley Cup, if you asked 20 people in any part of Las Vegas, about the hockey game and who they wanted to win, 19 of them would say there's a hockey game today. So I was really impressed of all the black and gold, all the local fans, all the diehards. And it's hard not to be a diehard if you started from day one because they've only been around for 3 years. But the fan base that was today, over the weekend for that parade, I thought that was pretty impressive for a young franchise.
I agree.
Very young franchise.
I agree.
And they had the Golden Knight running around, high-fiving, and it's a show, man. It's a show. But they had a lot of fun and no damage. And it didn't get thrown in the Bellagio fountain, which I was disappointed.
All right, so Garth Brooks has a residency there right now.
He does?
Yep.
I didn't see
Miranda Lambert will have a residency there.
Yeah, I know that.
Let's see. Who else is going to be in there? Carrie Underwood. Mostly country, huh? Country's so huge.
Well-
Celine Dion just had to cancel a bunch of stuff because of her she's ill.
Yep. Barry Manilow's still doing it, man. There's
Barry
people
Manilow is unbelievable. I think Wayne Newton's still there.
Still doing it. He's the flamingo. I just saw him. High-fived him. Donkashane.
It's just such a great. I think Adele. Adele had a residency there. What was she there for the month of March earlier this year?
That's the way to do it, Adele.
Yeah.
Don't do the whole year. Don't do your whole life. Just do a
Wasn't
month.
she still dating Rich Paul?
That could be. You know these things. You knew the Bill Murray Khalees thing. I didn't know anything about that.
Listen, my wife watched a lot of that stuff. I watch a lot of that stuff. I mean, it's just kind of I think that's interesting. Most of the stuff in People Magazine is pure crap. But when I see that, I'm like, whoa! I like Bill Murray and his
You
son's
like
a
the Odd
coach for
Couples.
UConn.
You like the
Absolutely.
Odd Couples.
But listen, and at my age, I'll be 60 next year. When you see Al Pacino still performing, and I don't mean movies, or
Yeah.
Robert De Niro, I'm impressed,
Right.
man.
Yeah.
It's not whether I like them or don't. I don't like their politics. I care less, but that's impressive to me.
Whether it's medicine or genetics.
That's
one of
right, man. I'm like, man, that damn Al Pacino, was he 73?
Good for him, man.
I mean, he looks like his hair's all crazy, so he kind of looks wild. It's like, man, there's somebody that loves you out. There's always somebody to love you out there, man.
What do you got, Kurt? Give me some breaking news.
Tennessee has stayed alive. They've eliminated Stanford in a game 6-4.
You know
Man,
what
that's
that
karma.
is?
You threw that kid
Baseball
156
gods.
pitches, you sons of guns.
Baseball gods
Yep.
right there. That's exactly
Yep.
right, Dibs. And I do believe it was his day today. He was the number 2 guy.
Probably Quinn couldn't lift his arm.
Oh, man.
That's
Oh,
the
man.
baseball gods right there smiling.
So if you don't know, to catch you up on this story during the Super Regional, Stanford pitched this one pitcher 156 pitches through the whole game in order to stay alive in that Super Regional, got them the win, got them to Omaha. Now they've been bounced. And, I think this story continues, man. I think – and this is kind of where I was getting at. All right, let's say this kid has Tommy John's within 5 years.
Yep.
Are you looking at that game within 5 years? Does that game come into play within 5 years later?
Absolutely.
What about
Could
10
come in-
years?
no,
What, 10 years?
I don't know about 10 years because, Quinn Matthews is a young buck and, some guys do have rubber arms. Roberto Hernandez, I'm sure, when he was growing up, great Puerto Rican pitcher I played with the White Sox, threw 95 miles an hour until he's 45. I mean, that's genetics and the grace of God you go, I guess. This guy could bounce back, and we could all be wrong. There's guys that throw 10 pitches and get Tommy John surgery.
Right.
But I don't think that unless you've built him up to that amount of pitches that you should do that. Like I threw one of my 14s 90 pitches yesterday, and that was 5 past where I wanted him to go. But had I gone out to the mound to take him out, it was an 8-0 shutout that he's throwing, a 2-hitter. He probably would have fought me. And I know my boy. So, and very proud of him. So Lewis was pitching great. I was like, listen, he's not laboring. I'll let him go. Then I allowed him to catch his brother because he's got a twin on the team. He threw out 3 base runners. Now, I was worried about him. I pulled him. I took him out of the game. I'm like, I told you not to throw the ball around. He's like, what do you want me, the guy, to steal? I mean, this is the attitude I get from my players.
That's great, though.
And I'm like, I love you to death, but I can't hurt you. So I pulled him.
Right, that's all good things, man. You want the kid to play. You don't want him to hold back at all, knowing any of those counts in his mind. Because I do think that plays into a starting pitcher's mentality when they're chasing a no-hitter, a one-hitter, a two-hitter in Major League Baseball.
Agreed, but I also think it's a problem right now because we've become accustomed to guys laboring for 20 pitches an inning, which I think is foul. I was taught 10 to 12.
Right.
10 to 12 is a good 3-out period. Greg Maddux was better than that. He was like 3 to 5 through 77 pitches per 9 innings. That's where you should be mentally. These guys are like 100 pitches in the 5th inning. I'm cool. I'm cool because I got 8 guys out in the bullpen are going to carry me the rest of the way. That shouldn't be your mentality. You should be more economical so you save your arm for August, September, and October. But somewhere we've gotten fouled up with these nerds that are like, it's acceptable to hit 200 and a less than 300 on-base percentage. It's acceptable to throw 100 pitches in 4 innings and give up 5 runs, and you're fine.
Right.
I mean, I agree with what you're saying. If I'm telling you that, then mentally – that's the picture you're drawing.
That's my mark. That's what I'm trying to get at. Once I get there, then, it's out of my hands.
But then it's like Roberto Duran. It's like no mas.
No mas.
I'm at 100 pitches, no mas.
Right.
I'm not, no. We've got to get back to the mentality of you're competing. It's a baseball game. And, the quickest way you can get 3 outs, 3 pitches is a perfect inning.
Right. Wake Forest will be taking on LSU. The loser
Demon Deacons
of that
or Deacon
game,
Demons?
The Demon Deacons.
Demons. So they're Demons
Tigers.
first. Okay.
They're Demons before they're Deacons, and then they will. Whoever loses that game will have to face Tennessee in an elimination game. So there's Omaha for you as it's winding down the college baseball season.
Best uniform still in it: Demon Deacons or Tennessee?
Gosh.
Can somebody explain?
I like Oral Roberts.
Okay, can somebody explain the checkerboard end zones in a Tennessee game?
It's old school. There is a reason. I forget why.
Or the checkerboards on Duke's pants in basketball. Why?
I don't know. I do know in North Carolina they have Argyle on the sidelines of everything. So their end zones are Argyle. The side of their pants are Argyle.
You're not giving me the explanation as to why. Yeah, I know you know history.
I don't know this one. I think
there's got to be history behind this.
A long time ago that they started this with the checkerboard stuff, but I don't know the Argyle
I mean, I
either.
think it's cool as hell. I mean, I'm not saying, I also, was it Purina Dog Chow? Has that on their box.
Maybe they are, Smokey the dog's their mascot. Maybe there's some kind of cahoots there. Purina's been a brand for a long time. Maybe it was in the 50s. I don't know. I'm going to get to the bottom of it.
All right.
I really am interested in this. You ask me questions like that all the time, and I can't go to sleep until I find the answer.
I have the mind of Seinfeld, but I can't figure stuff out like he can, so I throw it to you. All right, we'll throw it to this next interview. We talked to Cam Rogers. He's a handicapper. He knows golf inside and out on the PGA Tour. We asked him to come on earlier and handicap the Travelers. Cam Rogers joins us next live from the Travelers radio deck, brought to you by Big Y. It's the Rob Dibble Show with Ben Darnell on your afternoon drive. Kurt Kaplan back in the studio. John Ashmead doing the video here. We'll be right back.